I featured him a few years ago with the Brockwind Ensemble, and he brought down the house with his virtuoso playing in Portage Hall. Mark, could you please come on stage? Can see you. Can you tell? Good to see you. Can you tell the audience? Can you tell the audience about your memories of Moe Koffman and how he has inspired you to write this amazing chart?
Absolutely. Hopefully my voice will carry. I've never been told I have a shy voice. This little story actually, maybe I do. This piece, Ode to Moe, the story begins with a sad note actually, and that's with the passing of Moe Koffman. We have just celebrated the anniversary of his death on March 28th, 2001. When I first heard of this on the news about 20 years ago, it immediately made me reminisce about the pleasant evenings that my wife and I would share at George's Spaghetti House in Toronto. I don't know if anybody has had the pleasure of being there. And Moe Koffman, he would be there regularly with his quintet. And in the dark and large dining room, you could enjoy a nice meal and a glass of wine, and sitting very close to the musicians. You could almost touch them. After the set, you could speak to Moe, and you could get him to sign a CD, of which I have several. The motif for this song popped into my head at the time that I heard his passing, and the initial notes are taken from Moe's celebrated breakout hit, The Swinging Shepherd Blues from 1957, which you will be hearing in the second half of this evening. The bones of the song sat on my computer for the last 20 years, which is amazing because I'm only 25 years old. And recently I dusted them off and thought that I would finish it. So I sent it to Zoltan as a much simpler arrangement for quintet, and he suggested turning it into an arrangement for big band. I can only say that that has been an enormous learning experience for me, as I have never done anything like this before. And now I do have an immensely heightened respect for arrangers. The work involved is significant. I've always felt this melody should be performed on flute, just as Moe, I am sure, would have done, and I'm so grateful to have Doug Miller filling the role. So thank you, Doug, and thank you, Zoltan, for the opportunity, and thank you all for coming.
Our pleasure. It's truly a magnificent chart you're here. This is Doug Miller, my dear colleague from the Niagara Symphony. He's an incredible world-class flute player, and we are honored to have him here. And you mentioned earlier that you have had the honor of collaborating, performing alongside Moe Koffman. So could you please tell the audience about your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I have the big voice here. So I first saw Moe Koffman when I was a student at McGill University back in the late 70s, and he was there with his quintet. And I was just amazed and blown away by his versatility on multiple woodwinds and just the energy he had. So I was 20 years later in Toronto, and I was thrilled to get hired for a few recording sessions, and he was sitting beside me in the recording sessions, and he was such a friendly man, and he was supportive. He was actually playing saxophone, alto saxophone at the time. I was playing flute, and then later during the 10-year run of Phantom of the Opera, he was the music contractor for Phantom of the Opera and many other shows as well. So I did get to know him a little bit and worked with him. He was passionate about the music business, and he was a really big inspiration. Like towards the end of his life, and I know he was dealing with cancer at the time, he was still practicing like a keener. So truly an inspiration for really any musician. So I think that's all I'll say. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, and I should just add, when Zoltan asked me to do this, I said absolutely. When it took me a millisecond to say yes, because just because I knew Mo, and this sounded like an exciting project. Yeah.